Greetings and many blessings to everyone. My name is Cassandra and you're watching Spotless Mind Tarot. In this pick a card tarot reading, we will receive an outlook of what you could expect in August 2023. There are 3 oracle cards for you to choose from. We have card 1, Goose, card 2, Orca Whale, and card 3, Owl. Choose the very first card you saw or the card that's instantly grabbing your attention. Please keep in mind that these are general readings and a variety of people will be tuning into them. So some of the messages I deliver may not be for you. I do my best to speak in metaphors and give examples of the energy that's coming through in the readings. For those of you who have picked a card already, you may jump to your reading now. If you still need more time, then stick around. I'll leave the image up on the screen for the next 30 seconds so you can sit with them longer. I start the readings with the current energies, so if the current energies don't sound like you, then you may want to make a second choice. Timestamps and other information can be found in the description below. If you enjoyed this tarot reading and would like for me to go even deeper for you, I offer private readings that you can purchase on my Etsy shop. Not only do I offer tarot readings, but I also make gemstone and metal jewelry, digital birth charts, and acrylic paintings. The link to my shop can be found on the screen or in the description below. Blessings. If you picked card 1, Goose, this is your reading for August 2023. We will begin the reading by taking a look at your current energies and see where you are at this moment. Then we'll take a look at what you could expect in the month ahead. So we're going to start the reading by taking a quick look at the oracle cards that we have for you. And the oracle card leading the reading is Goose. The keyword is inner knowing. And on the card, it says, "You are a brave traveler. Your soul knows the way. Be confident you will achieve your destination. Loyal friends are always with you. Don't worry, you are blessed. Let yourself fly." And this card, to me, speaks a lot about group dynamics. It speaks a lot about family and community. There's a theme this month for you where family and community as well as the home front will be very important for you. Whether this means you will be spending more time with your family or community, or you'll be spending time with the thoughts of it, with the idea of it. You'll be sitting with yourself and really asking yourself what it is you would like to see more in the world around you. What kind of people do you want to associate yourself with? As well as what can you do to help make your family stronger? How to keep the fire burning, the hearth burning inside the home. How to uphold and maintain the foundations that your ancestors have set before you. And in what ways you can honor your ancestors, honor your lineage. So some of you may be spending a lot of time doing research, perhaps like on a family tree, or, you know, like let's say you sign up for Ancestry and you start putting a tree together, or you already have a tree set up and you're discovering new information. You could also just be like hanging out more with elders in your family and asking them questions like about their childhood and what their parents were like and what relatives they grew up around. So either way, family, home, community, And again, like group dynamics, coming together as a group and looking out for each other is very important for you this month. The second oracle card we have is like the energy you want. It's like the energy that is here to assist you this month. I look at it as like alchemy. Like this is an available resource being given to you, and you can take it and use it to help you ground yourself and get through the month. Like it could be a place or an idea or a structure, a system that you can rely on that will provide the knowledge and wisdom, the resources, the help you need to get through the month. And this card, we have Hearth, and the keyword is comfort. And it's pretty self-explanatory. Also, the number for this card is 11. But again, it's pretty self-explanatory, you know, home, family. It's very important this month. And our ancestors used to have hearths in their home. And basically, it would be located in the middle of the home, or like the heart of the home. Hence the word heart inside the word hearth. And it's where there was always like a fire burning, like there's always like a fireplace going. And so you had to maintain that fire, you know. It wasn't like today where you can get like fake logs and like, you know, we have gas fireplaces where you just like put in a key and turn it on and it's just on, right? And like it's a fake log, so you never have to like worry about changing the wood or something. Or even like, even if it's not a fake log, like you can just go to the store and buy wood, you know. But back in the day, our ancestors didn't have places like Walmart and gas and electricity, you know, so they had to keep this firework going, you know. And so you had to get your own wood, you had to do your own work. And so that could also speak to your place within the home, within family, within community, and all that. What can you do to provide for other people and for yourself to make things a better place? What kind of skill or assets do you have that you can contribute to your family? It is also a time for you to really, simply put, just spend more time at home, to really seek the solace of and comforts of your home. I don't really get the sense of hermit activity this month. I mean, for some of you that may be the case, like you may go into a hermit mode and kind of just hide away, but I see it more as you just really retreating home more. So for example, if you're someone that's always out and about and always on the go, like you're hardly ever home, I feel like you're just going to be spending more time at home this month. And so it's not necessarily like you're hiding away from the world or anything, and you're not really hiding away at home either. You're at home more. And that could also mean spiritually as well, like you're just at home more within your body, within your heart. And so there could be major changes happening in the home. Some of you may be expecting a new birth, whether it's of your own child or another's within the family. And so there's going to be a lot of attention and activity occurring in the home because of this. Maybe even new pets. There could just be something new coming in either way. Something new that, like, it brings people together and it creates there's a lot of activity going on, but it's not stressful, it's fun. It's like a family event and it's bringing the family together. And because the family is coming together more, that's why you need to ask yourself, what can you do to help provide? Because it's like everyone has something to offer. Everyone's playing their part. So this is a good time for you to really identify your strongest suits your strongest points within family dynamics, within your place within the family, whether you're a parent, a sibling, a cousin, an aunt, an uncle, like, you know, or even if you're dealing with like your in-laws, maybe that could be a thing too for some of you. This may not be your biological family, it could be your in-laws. It could also be just a group of friends, like, or people you live with, like whatever you identify as family. Okay, and so I think that sums that up. I don't want to spend too much time because I said real quick and we're already like 8 minutes in. So now we're going to go ahead and look at the tarot, and I'm going to start with the current energies to get a feel for what you're experiencing at this time. And then we'll look at the month ahead of like what you could expect. This is like the energy that's coming in after your current energies. So the current energies can last for pretty much the entirety of the month up until towards the end. It could be half of the month. It could just be the first week or two. But it's the energy that you are currently in going into the month of August, or even whenever you click on this video, like that's what's currently going on in your life. So the change can happen instantly, or it's going to take all month to transpire. And so we're going to start with current energies, and we have the 3 of Pentacles, 8 of Swords, and 4 of Swords. I immediately feel that there's a delay. It could be a creative delay, a group delay. Either way, there's a delay or there's a blockage happening. There could also be burnout, and that's what's driving you to be home more. Some kind of burnout, maybe a recovery from surgery, or it could be anything. You could be recovering, there could be a delay, a block, or a burnout. The burnout could be dealing with work, with creativity, like artistic pursuits, or just with work in general, with school, with something that involves other people, something that involves society or a small group of people. I feel like if you were dealing with people, let's say working on a project, I feel like you not like over contributed. I feel like you probably put in more work than they did. And so that's where the burnout can come from. I just feel like there's an overemphasis on your part. There's something that you overdid or whether or not it was like, let's say, like a bad thing. I'm not really seeing it as like a bad thing. I just feel like you overdid something, and now you're having to like rest from it and recover from it. So you could apply that in any way. It could be like physical burnout or just mental burnout. Because I feel mostly too, when I pull these cards, there's a lot of mental anguish. There's a lot of mental activity going on. And so I think you're needing a break from, I almost want to say like you're needing a break from the daily routine. Like the daily, like wake up at 5 a.m. and do your thing, go to work, come home, cook dinner, go to bed. Like there's like a routine that you're stuck in, and like you're really burnt out from it. Maybe you may even just be working extra hours, or you've been working like 7 days a week, like you just nonstop work, and you're pretty burnt out. You're pretty sick of it. I feel like some of you are just like, you're really fed up with like doing the same shit every day. And so I feel you've reached a point where you're just kind of stuck, and that's where the block can come from as well. Like I feel something is being blocked. I don't want to put the blame on you, but it's like you're blocking yourself from something. And usually that's what the 8 of Swords represents. It's your own self-doubt. It's your own mental block. It's your own perception that's stopping you. But with the 4 of Swords, it's like, I feel it's necessary. because I feel like there's something about this, whatever you've been doing, it was necessary. Like there's some kind of experience from it that was necessary for you to have experience, and it's bringing you to this point of like questioning yourself, or like just kind of like you're backtracking and you're kind of like wondering, is this the right thing, or like did I do a good job, or that kind of energy. And so it's helping you self-analyze. Like I'm getting a lot of Virgo, even though there's no Virgo out. We do have Capricorn. We have Mars in Capricorn with the Three of Pentacles. And so that's where that energy can be coming from. Capricorn is a perfectionist. They love to be perfect with everything they do. Like, so does Virgo. But, like, Capricorn perfection is, like, disgusting because it's so subtle. It is so quiet. Like, they'll go through hell, right? And they'll put themselves through hell to be the best at what they're doing, whatever they're passionate about. And perhaps that's where the whole like overdoing something is coming in. So it's not like a bad thing, because it does benefit Capricorn, especially in the long term. It benefits them. But like it does burn them out. They get burnt out a lot. Capricorns are definitely a sign that takes a lot of naps, like because they overdo it, they overwork. They like to, like, once they're working, they don't like to stop, like, at all. They have to keep going until it's done. Like, they hate taking breaks. They hate, because, like, once they're in the flow, once they're in motion, they don't want to stop. And I feel that could be reflective of, like, the mountain goat, especially of, like, the goats that, like, scale those, like, water dams, and they're, like, very steep walls, and they scale them so they can lick the salt off the rocks, right? And it's kind of like once you're up there, you can't really just come down, right? So you might as well stay there. And so that's like Capricorn energy. So I feel like you were in that place for so long. You were in a state of like, it's like once you wake up, it's like you're as soon as you wake up, you're at work. You know what I mean? Like mentally, like you're just in that state of like, I can't stop until it's finished. And now you're just completely burnt out. You've hit some kind of like brick wall. You've hit a stop sign. Maybe some of you've completed your projects, whatever it was. Maybe you did overcome, and like it's out there, and it's kind of like, maybe it's like, now what? Because I feel like you've spent so much time and energy on this. You've kind of forgot about the rest of the world. You kind of like ignored other parts of reality, which is totally fine. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Like living in your world as long as you're happy and all that good stuff. But like, you may have overlooked some areas. And so this is just a time where, with the Eight of Swords, I'm getting just you're just sitting with your thoughts, whether good or bad, whether you're anxious, whether you're completely worn out and devastated, or you're just like, you're tired and now you finally feel free. I think you're kind of just stuck in like this mental place of feeling like, you finally hit the finish line of a marathon and you're just completely exhausted, right? That's just where we are right now. And so the Four of Swords does want you to take a rest. It does want you to take a break. And it does want you to sit with your thoughts. So if there's a lot of mental activity, which I feel is the case with all the Swords energy out, it's necessary for you to sit with your thoughts, to organize your thoughts, to really evaluate situations you're in, go within, and face whatever comes up. I don't see too many like emotional distress. Again, it's very mental. It's very like, or maybe you do need to invite some emotionality into it. Maybe there's caution of don't be too rational, but you do want to be like logical. You do want your heart in it, but you don't want your heart to lead whatever you're dealing with at this time. You kind of just want like your inner compass to lead without any attachment, without ego, without thinking it's supposed to be a certain way. Okay, so I think that sums up the current energies pretty well. So let's go ahead and jump into what you could expect in the month ahead. And so this is like what's going to come in after all this. And again, like I've said, it could take a week, it could take a day. I mean, it really just depends on everybody. But it is energy that you can recognize coming in when it does come in. And so we have the Ace of Swords reversed, the Sun, and the Fool. And the Fool really flipped out when I was shuffling. It like went from like the left side of my hand all the way to the right. Like it flipped to the right. So that may mean something. I don't know. The right direction. So this is the right direction, or something about right direction. Like you could take that like right, like this is correct, or right, like take a right at the next turn, right? And so it's good either way. I mean, the Fool is a good sign that you are heading into the right direction. And then with the Sun here too, it's like it's very promising. It's very fulfilling. It's very uplifting. Now, the Ace of Swords in reverse can be a cause for concern, but I strongly feel this is connected to what's currently happening. So the Ace of Swords in reverse can represent delays. There can be things like tyranny, or like backstabbing, or untrustworthiness, or things of that nature. I feel it's highly personal though. I really feel this reading is very personal to you, in the sense that like whatever it is you're going through, it has a deeper meaning. There's a deeper purpose. You're not just doing this for the fuck of it. Like, excuse my language, but that's that Capricorn energy. Like Capricorn doesn't just say things. I mean, generally speaking, it depends what your chart looks like, but Capricorn energy on its own, like they don't just talk to hear themselves talk. They don't just explain things, for the fuck of it. Like they just, I don't know how to explain it. Like, and I apologize, like my Capricorn's coming out right now, but like, it's like they don't waste their time talking. They don't waste their time explaining things, and they certainly don't like to tell lies. So it's like they take everything very seriously for a reason. They're ruled by Capricorn. Like this is some long-term shit. Like this is some deeper meaning thing. It's not to be messed with. That's the energy I'm getting. And so it's highly personal, and Capricorn makes everything personal. They take everything personal too. Like they think everything's about them, and not like in an egotistical way, in the sense of like they're like Leo or something. And not like that. I don't mean to like talk crap, but like Leo in the sense of like, look at me, I'm the best. It's more like I'm Capricorn. It's like, I know I'm the best. I don't have to prove it, And so, yeah, the Ace of Swords, because I just said that, like, it might be, how do I interpret this? I kind of feel like you're tricking yourself here in some way. Maybe you are trying to give deeper meaning and purpose, excuse me, to something that is very mundane, like it's, or because it appears to be so mundane and like seamless, you're questioning whether or not this has deeper meaning and purpose. Like, does it really? Because it doesn't seem like it. And I think it's necessary, because the Ace of Swords in the upright position, this is like, it's one of the most promising cards, because there's a lot of gifts with the Ace of Swords. There's a lot of, and the gifts come from, how do I explain it? I don't know how to apply it in this situation, because it's like every reading's different. Every, how the card applies to a reading is going to be different. I don't know how to explain it. I'm sorry. Basically, what I'm really trying to say, there's something you're missing out on. There's something that, like, you're not seeing. Maybe there's like a deeper purpose and deeper meaning, but like you're not seeing it. And I feel like you're going to receive something this month, but it's not going to be obvious, like, because the Ace of Swords is in reverse. So there's like a lot of things that are kind of just under the surface. It's like you're only going to find it deep within. And so that's where the whole like gifts are coming from. So it's an internal thing. And again, going back to the Hearth card, it's like, what can you do to contribute? Or what has your family taught you? Like, what kind of values, what kind of skill sets and traits, whether genetic or like something you were just taught, like, what are things that have helped shape you and make you who you are? So there could be some inner child work here, or just a lot of like reflection. I feel like it's more reflection. Like, again, I'm not getting hermit vibes. I'm not getting like any like, I'm not even getting like shadow work or inner child healing. Like it's more self-reflection. It's more like identifying things you already know, but not in a sense of like a deep like inner like awakening, like, oh my god, I completely forgot. It's more like it's subtle. It's very under the surface. And so you could probably find that deeper meaning and purpose from something from the past, something within the home, within the family, within your community. Either way, it's going to come in this month. You're going to realize it. But again, it's not you. Like, you might see it out in the world, but it's not going to come from outside of you. I hope that makes sense. And when it does, the Sun card is here, and it's going to liberate you. Okay? It's going to really connect you in a way to the universe, in a way that is, I don't want to say it, but like, for lack of better words, more meaningful. More, and it's not more meaningful like it's never had, like it never was more meaningful, but it's more like you're finding meaning in areas of your life that perhaps you've overlooked, or or certain things gain more meaning in some way. And because of that, it's going to really take you off on a new adventure here with the Fool. It's going to really open up pathways for you. I did readings or groups, or I'm sorry, I did card 3 first. I recorded that reading over the weekend. Today is August 1st, so I'm actually recording this on the day of the full moon. And in that reading, they were opening new doors. But for you guys, like, it's new pathways. It's like, it's an open field, if anything. Like, I don't even see like a path. I feel like you're facing an open field, and like field, I don't know if I said what I said, but like an open field. And so there's like endless possibilities. You're given a chance to like, your path is always the same. Don't get me wrong. Like, your fate, your what you came here to do, your purpose, your dharma, your karma, all that, like, that's always going to stay the same. But like, I feel you're going to receive an opportunity sometime this month, and it could even just be unknowingly, like you just unknowingly step into a new timeline, that sort of thing, and you're going to shift in some way, and if you know anything about jumping timelines, how they feel like you wake up one day and you're kind of just like in a new world. Like, it doesn't feel the same, but everything's still the same. That's literally you jumping like levels, like dimensions and timelines. Like, you literally step into like an alternate reality. You know, that's where you get the, what do they call it? The mandala effect, where like, I don't want to explain it actually, we can sit here all day, but like look into it if you don't know what that is. But like that's why that stuff happens, because we jump timelines, and in this stage of human consciousness and human evolution, we are in a very spiritual place as a collective. A lot of us are awakened, a lot of us are really tuned in, and so these shifts happen because of that, because we're constantly vibrating and upgrading. And so, you know, that's what's happening here. And so because you're like facing an open field, it doesn't matter where you step, you're gonna end up on your path. But it's how you get to go about it, moving on forward. It's how you want to go entering this new shift in your life. So, you know, it doesn't have to be like that deep and spiritual. It could simply be something very, very mundane, very physical, and very at the material level. It really depends on your path, and even like what you want out of life, you know, how you perceive life. And so either way, like, it's like a shift, but it's again, it's very subtle, it's very internal, and I mean, it could feel grand, and it can be grand, but it's subtle in the way of like, it's, I don't know how to, it's not like a radical shift. I don't know if you heard the rooster. It's a notification on my phone. And so that's great that rooster crowed, because roosters signify new beginnings, a resurrection, a rebirth. You know, they're very, rooster symbolism can relate to phoenix symbolism. It's rising from the ashes, from the darkness. It's being reborn. A rooster's crow announced the coming of Christ. And so that's what's taking place for you guys. It's just, you know, again, like, I'm not trying to downplay it, but it's like there's something about it that's just so like gentle, and like, and it could be that whole family community idea, especially because a shift can happen within that dynamic, or because of that dynamic of those things that I've mentioned at the beginning of the reading. You know, either way, it's like, you know, you're gonna feel more at home, you're gonna feel more aligned. And so I feel like that burnout, whatever you were working so hard on, it could even be something that only took like a month. It could be like many things that were happening, and they finally came to an end, and they happened to end together at the same time, or around the same time. It's like you were literally like finishing up old karmic contracts. Like, you were finishing up, you know, for like the best way I could say it, like tying up loose ends. Like, you had, that's why it was such that's why it feels like a burnout. That's why it felt so like heavy. And then like now you're like in a place of like, there's nothing happening. And it's like, what's going on? Like, you know, like, shouldn't shit be happening? Like, but no, like, this is like the calm before, not even like the calm before the storm, but this is like the bridge. You've reached the bridge, and now you're crossing. And so that's why it feels like nothing's happening, and that's why it feels like there's like a lot of anxiety, because you worked so hard to get to where you are, just even as a soul, even just in your life in general. You worked really hard up until this moment, and now it's time to take it someplace else. And that's what's going to happen for you guys this month. And I'm actually going to end the reading here. And so I hope these messages reached you, and I wish you all the best. It is all like very beautiful. Everything is just, you deserve this. You really, like, you made it, you know, you made it. It's awesome. And so before we go, I'm going to give you a channeled song. And I actually haven't channeled a song yet. I usually do right before the reading. So I'm going to sit with that for a minute. I'm going to pause the recording and sit with that. and figure out what song comes through. I may have a song for you already, actually, but let me sit first. And then I'm going to display on the screen a photo of your oracle card, Goose, along with the booklet description, so that way you could sit with it and read what the book says. And, you know, I would screenshot it and keep it with you in your phone or on your desktop or wherever, and use it as a guide, you know, for you this month. And I like the description of Goose. It's one of the descriptions I like. I remember some of what it says, and so I think you'll enjoy it as well, because it has a great message there. Okay, and so again, let me sit with the channeled song, and then we'll look at the goose. Okay, so I decided to do a little roulette with my Spotify, and I just like scrolled really quickly at all the stuff I have saved, clicked on the first album that my finger touched, and we got J. Cole, and I shuffled the album, and the song that came up, the very first song, is Pride is the Devil by J. Cole, featuring Lil Baby. So if you're into it, you can check out the song, and there may be a message for you there, whether in the lyrics or just within the instruments themselves, or, you know, maybe whatever, you're a J. Cole fan or whatever the case, there might be something there for you in the song, so check that out. And now I'll display the oracle card, and that wraps up this reading. And I wish you guys all the best, and I'll see you again for September. Blessings. If you picked card 2, Orca Whale, this is your reading for August 2023. We will begin the reading by taking a look at your current energies and see where you are at this moment. Then we'll take a look at what you could expect in the month ahead. To start the reading, we're gonna take a look at the oracle card that you chose, and this card is the leading energy. It could also be seen as like the goal or the outcome of the month. And we have Orca Whale. The keyword for this card is adventure. And on the card it says, dare to do things differently, sing your wild song, manifest your travel dreams, attempt a great journey with confidence, be loyal, friends and family are your treasures, be brave, you're more powerful than you know. And so I feel that a little bit of a relation to card 1, where with their card it spoke to me about family, group dynamics, community, as well as the home front. And I feel as well with you guys, there's some kind of group dynamic occurring for you this month. It doesn't have to be family in this case. I just feel that a group you belong to may be of significance or importance. It can be family. It could be like you, your husband, and your children, or you and your siblings, or it could be a group of friends. It could be a group of like work colleagues. Maybe you're working on something very important this month as a group. Either way, there's something here about groups and moving together as a group and traveling together as a group. So that's pretty exciting. You definitely will not be short of company this month. That seems to be a major theme playing out for you. I don't think anyone here is going to spend time alone, in the sense that like they might struggle to find a group to be with. So if this doesn't sound like you, I would suggest checking out card 1. That may have a message for you there. Otherwise, stick around if this does relate to you, or if you think it relates to you, because we can still look at the current energies with tarot, and it will really help you to determine if this is the right reading for you. And so I love the imagery on this card. It's just absolutely beautiful. All the waves, all the lines of the water. You could be spending more time with the water. You could be inspired by water element, and so all the alchemy that has to deal with water, creativity, emotions, fertility, birth, cleansing, purifying, as well as psychic abilities, intuition, telepathy, communication. You know, whales have very interesting communication. I believe they use sonar waves, right? They use some kind of frequency in the water to communicate, and it travels throughout the water in a very beautiful way. And so that could be a highlight this month. Your communication is needed at this time. You have something to say. You have a message to deliver to other people. You may even be finding your group, finding your tribe through way of communicating. Okay, and the second oracle card we have represents a dynamic, a situation, a skill, an asset, a resource, something that could help you get through the month. You could use it as like a guide or a tool. And we have card number 42, speed, and the keyword for this is movement. And so this month is going to see a lot of activity, a lot of movement. Even when you're not doing anything, things are going to be moving. I don't feel, looking at the tarot though, I don't feel like it's a month to rush things or a month to just be careless and aimless. You gotta have some kind of goal or some kind of, plan set forth. It's definitely not a month for you to just be willy-nilly. But you do want to be consistent. So that's like the major thing for you this month. Just stay consistent, stay the course, do what you say you're going to do. Don't make empty promises. I wouldn't even make any promises. I would just do it. Like, don't say it, just do it. That's what I'm getting. Like, there's not enough time to explain what you're doing. You got to just do it, but you also got to you have to have your own plan. Okay, and so let's go ahead and look at the current energies. And for current energies, we have the Seven of Cups, Eight of Pentacles, and the Devil reversed. And the Seven of Cups, it came out in the shuffle and slowly landed on the floor. And I kind of just sat there and looked at it while I was shuffling. And I was kind of at peace. I was observing it, and it's interesting because that's what this card kind of is. It's not a card about peace, but it is about your observation. It is about your choices that you make. It is about it could be about an illusion of choice as well, but for me in this situation, it's really speaking on taking time to recognize what's happening in your life, to recognize the opportunities being presented to you, because I feel like currently, whether it's the beginning of the month, whether it's right now, like when you click on the video, currently there's a lot ahead of you. I feel maybe you know about this already. Maybe there's a lot of things coming up. There could be a lot of events, a lot of projects, a lot of you already have all these plans, right? And now it's here. Maybe you made these plans a month ago to do these things in August, and now August is here, and so now you're looking at your calendar, you're looking at your schedule, you are evaluating, you're going over your notes, so you're just being really observant. You're taking the time to see what lies ahead. And that's really going to help you this month to keep that going the rest of the month. Even though this is current energies, and usually in the reading, when I look at current energies, the energies fade away throughout the month. I feel really strongly with the Seven of Cups that this is a month to continuously plan ahead, to look at what lies ahead of you, to look at your choices, either choices you made or choices you have to make. You know, you have a lot of ways of going about things. You have a lot of ways of doing one thing. And so there could be a lot of confusion. There could also be an illusion there. That maybe that's the illusion of the choice. You think you have a choice, but you're gonna end up like, it doesn't matter what choice you make, you're gonna get to that final destination anyways, you know. I kind of feel like that's more metaphorically, but like, and it's interesting how this really relates to card one. You know, I was telling them how it doesn't matter what you do, your fate is always the same. Like, your path will always be the same. Your ascension, your karma, your dharma, your fate, that's always going to be the same. But for them, their card one is being given an opportunity to they're given a choice to how they're going to go about that path, right? And so for you guys, there's a bit of a relation there, but it's different because that path is being presented to you right now. And I feel like that path changes, or not the path itself, but like your choices are going to change like almost every day. You know, we do have retrogrades happening this month. We have Mercury and Venus retrograde. You know, Pluto's in retrograde. Saturn, I'm sure, is in retrograde, right? I haven't looked. I haven't been keeping track of the astrology lately. But like, at least like, you know, like I watch the videos or whatever, but like I'm not like keeping track. So there is a retrograde. So I feel like for you guys, there's not so much delays. It's like, I feel like just there's something different happening every day. And I feel like in a way they're going to disrupt your plans that you've made ahead of time. And so that's why like it's an everyday thing where you're going to have to constantly reevaluate. So you're probably going to have to reschedule. You might have to cancel things. Or you just might have to go about doing things differently, you know, like let's say there's a wedding this month and then all of a sudden, you know, the weather, it's going to rain. So now you have to wear something else to the wedding, right? Or, you know, something like that, like something like things outside of your control, outside of anyone's control are going to happen. I don't think they're meant to be disruptive. I don't think they're meant to like destroy or like stop what's going on. It's just like, that's just what's happening. And I really feel it's the retrogrades. Like, it's just like you kind of have to go about things a little differently. But I still feel like for the most part, everything's going accordingly. It's just gonna take a little bit of extra work on your part. And moving ahead, let's look at the Eight of Pentacles and the Devil in reverse. The Devil in reverse, first of all, I mean, this is cool because you're going to be breaking away from something that's no longer serving you. And I feel you could really be breaking away from a toxic situation. You could be breaking away from a toxic workplace, a toxic relationship. And not so much like the word toxic, you know, that's such a poor word to use these days. Like, you know, people have whatever, right? But it's just like things that just aren't good for you, things that are icky, things that just they don't need to be there. Like, they don't serve a good purpose. You're breaking away from that. The Eight of Pentacles might have something to do with it. And so you could just be really focused on self-improvement. And perhaps that's the message here. I mean, this is Sun and Virgo energy. It is about, Virgo loves to self-improve. They're all about achieving goals, setting goals and achieving them. They're very good at doing that. Like, you know, the difference between this energy and card one is card one had Capricorn energy. You guys have the Virgo energy. And so like Virgo is different when it comes to perfectionism. I don't feel like you guys are burnt out. I don't feel like you guys are, I don't know like how to explain it, but overall, like, you have no problem doing all this work that's going on. You have no problem adjusting. There's a lot of adjustment going on. Again, a lot of self-improvement, a lot of adjustment. You know, Virgo, I was going to say, Virgo is really good at setting a goal, accomplishing that goal, and knowing that once that goal's over, there's another one to be done. Whereas Capricorn, it's like once they accomplish a goal, they feel like they're on top of the world. And then time goes by and they realize, oh, I guess I got to set another goal. Like, that's not the end of it, you know? So Capricorn has like this delusion of like thinking once they accomplish something, that's it. And it's totally not the case. Virgo doesn't have that problem. They know that once they accomplish something, there's going to be something else. And I'm laughing because, I don't know. It's just funny to me, you know, because I'm a Capricorn. So, yeah. And then, you know, the devil and energy is Capricorn energy. And so you are breaking away from that. So maybe you're breaking away from the idea that, you know, one size fits all. And that's not the case. You're breaking old routines as well. I think you're breaking out of routine. I feel like this month you guys really can't stick to one thing, like, again, because it's like every day something's new. And so because of that, it's going to change some routines that you've had up until now. And it's going to change them for a good time, long term. Or, you know, it could be temporary, like a couple months kind of thing, or a couple years, but like long term in the sense that like you're gonna go about doing something different for now on in a certain area. So let's say you do wake up at like 5 a.m. and you go for a run. I feel like this month something's happening and you can't do that, and so now you have to do your run at a different time. Like, you still go for your run anyways, again, like you're still accomplishing your goals and your task, but you're going about it differently. And so currently I feel you're recognizing that, like, there's certain things you're gonna have to, again, it's like, it's the whole like rescheduling. You're gonna have to reschedule your run. You can't do it at 5 a.m. because something else is happening now at 5 a.m. when you wake up, something else. Or like maybe you always like to wake up at 5 and so that's just the way it is, but you have to be somewhere at 6 instead of at 7, and so you don't have time to go for a run. But you do have time sometime later in the day or at night or something like that. And so routines are changing up a bit here. Okay. And again, I just feel like just being consistent, not giving up. I feel like you guys aren't giving up on anything. I feel like you guys just, you're adjusting to it. And the 8 of Pentacles, I usually see it as something else other than what I'm interpreting as right now in this reading. I think right now it's like self-improvement. It's you know, it's doing things that better work for you based on what's happening around you. You know, this is also a card of perfection. You know, I mean, it's Virgo. It's about perfecting, though. It's more about perfecting yourself than being perfect, right? It's doing things that, for lack of a better way of saying it, doing things to be perfect instead of already being perfect, right? You know, and I don't like using that word either, because it's like we all interpret words differently, but that's like the best way I could explain it. Just taking care of business. This is definitely a lot of business going on right now. And I feel you do have help though, like, because, you know, we started the reading with the whole group idea. You're moving with a group of some kind. You're moving with, and if it's not like a group, like you're doing everything together, it's more like you all have a common goal, you know, and so you're all going in the same direction. So whoever you're around this month, like you guys, it may not seem like you're not doing all the same thing, but you all are moving in the same direction. And so that flow is really going to help you. And I think it's a good idea to tap into your groups to stay up to date with what they're doing in a way that benefits you, you know, like, so not like constantly knowing what they're doing every second of the day, but like knowing, I don't know, just knowing some kind of detail that helps keep you in the flow of things. Maybe staying up to date with their plan. So somehow this group, their plans coincide, with your plans. And so staying organized together is very beneficial. I apologize for the noise if you hear any. There's people outside. So yeah, that's interesting that there's people outside as I'm talking about groups, that sort of thing. Okay, so I want to move ahead. Actually, let's move into the current energy, or not current energies. We just looked at the current energies. Let's move ahead into what you could expect in the month ahead. Now that we got the current energies out of the way, this is what you can expect. It could happen tomorrow. It can happen next week. It could happen at the end of the month. It's just the transition that's going to occur this month. And for what you could expect, we have the Ten of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, and the Chariot. And so the Ten of Wands, it can be a sign of stress, a sign of taking on too much. But I'm really getting, because we have speed here, like, and when I drew the card, and then when the Chariot came out at the end, I'm really seeing just you taking your shit and like moving it somewhere else. And like, I don't know why, but like I have the image of this guy is like taking all these sticks, and it's like he's taking them from his home, like they're the sticks that like held up his home, you know. This is like a metaphor, right? And like he's taking them with him so he can go build his home somewhere else. And so like as a metaphor, that's what's coming in this month, like some kind of move, some kind of way of taking what you already have and taking it with you somewhere else. So you may literally be moving, or you're just shifting your energy to someplace else, but you're taking everything with you. So I don't see like anything new coming in the sense of like you're having to take on new responsibilities. It's more like you're taking what you already have with you. And it's a lot, but I don't really see so much stress and strain, because with speed and with the group dynamic, you know, it's like necessary. So part of you knows this is necessary, so there's no stress there, but it's also like it's your shit, it's your house, it's your foundation that you're taking with you, so you have no problem with picking it up and taking it with you. It's kind of like when you leave a really bad relationship and you lived with this person and you move out. Sure, the relationship ending was probably the worst part, right? But taking your shit and taking it somewhere else to do something new is the best part. And so that's just like how I'm seeing this. The Ten of Pentacles in reverse can be a cause for concern though, because, you know, there's a loss here. There could be, there's like a loss. It could be, it has to do with the family. It has to do with inheritance. So it's interesting if we're just looking at it at what the card means on its own. Because again, like I said, like because you are taking everything with you. So I'm not exactly sure what this loss is exactly right now. You're having to lose out on something related to a legacy, a family, you know, something like that. Like there's something that you're losing out on because of this, whether that's good or bad, whether you feel terrible about it, whatever the case, that's what's happening. There's something that you have to give up in order for you to move forward, in order for you to like really grow. And so maybe some of you are leaving the nest, you know, maybe you are moving out of your parents' house, or moving out of a household where you lived with family members or something of that matter. Like, it doesn't matter what age you are, what you're going through, or whatever the case, like you're just leaving the nest. It could even just be a metaphor, like you are just abandoning, or not so much abandoning, like you're leaving something. I hope it's not abandonment, you know, I hope it's not something negative, but maybe there is something that you have to abandon for your own good. You know, maybe what you are abandoning is something very negative, you know, and there's losses in that. The relationship example of like the relationship itself is a terrible thing, but for some reason you moving out of your girlfriend's house is like really relieving for you. Like it's really like refreshing, as it should be, because we do have the Chariot. So like whatever it is that you're having to let go of, to abandon, to walk away from, to lose out on, it's okay. I mean, even if it's really hard for you, I mean, it's going to be different for everybody, but it's still okay because the Chariot is here to say that, like, there's something else out there for you. There's something the universe wants you to see. And you're not going to see it from where you are, so you have to get up and go somewhere else. And so, again, it could be a physical thing, maybe even just a traveling, like maybe you need to just get in the car and drive somewhere, like, it could be something grand, it could be something small, either way, you know, it could be something spiritual. You know, there's something else out there. There's something the universe wants to show you. There's something in this loss that you need to learn. Something that's going to teach you something about yourself. There could also be, you know, this is what's coming up. There could also be some kind of disruption within the group. So maybe, I don't know, that's so interesting because, like, there's all this movement and flow, but, like, with the Ten of Pentacles, there's some kind of disruption. Something very disruptive. And there is a stop to something. There is something that just ends completely. But, like, it doesn't stop you from your plans. It doesn't, you know what I mean? There is a loss, but it doesn't stop you from what you got to do. It doesn't stop the speed. It doesn't stop the Chariot from going. The bus is still leaving. The train's still leaving. And you're on the train. Like, you're still leaving. No matter what. So take that how it applies. You know, it's going to be different for everybody. And again, you know, this is what's coming up, so who knows what that is, but maybe you do know. And the Chariot is represented by Cancer, and so there could have been something in Cancer season that came up, and it could give you insight into what's going to lie ahead of you. There's going to be a change, and part of you is going to be really uncomfortable, but the other part of you knows that this is absolutely necessary in order for you to keep going forward. I do like it though. I do like to see the Chariot because it further confirms this forward motion, you know, and I'm constantly being drawn to the Oracle card speed. Like I keep looking at it. Like, it's just so interesting how like the whole idea of having to step away from something in order to gain more. And so let's see what else. Try to see what else I could say. I just really feel like you guys got the message, and there's not much time to think about it, you know, like, whereas group 1, there was like a lot of mental activity, but here it's just like, there's not enough time to think. At least there's not enough time to sit and contemplate. Like, we have a schedule. We have to just, you know what I mean? Like, sure, there's going to be things they have to adjust and interruptions and whatnot, but like, we have work to do. I don't see much of rest this month. Also don't see too much stress either. It just, like, the things you may be going through may be really stressful, may take a toll on you, but there's like a sense of relief because you're moving forward with something here. I don't see a lot of self-doubt at all. Like, I just feel like you know this is what needs to be done, you know? I mean, Saturn and Sagittarius energy is really interesting. If you may even be part of that generation. It's Saturn, Sagittarius people are just like, this is just the way it is. You know what I mean? Especially if Sagittarius rules the higher mind. It rules travel, destination, foreign lands. It rules foreign thinking, higher concepts, higher education, that sort of thing. Religion, philosophy, occult sciences, you know, it's like the academia part of occultism, you know, whereas Scorpio, the 8th house, is occults and esotericism and all that kind of stuff. Sagittarius is like the academic part of it, the study of it. And so Saturn and Sag energy is just like, this is the way it is, whether you like it or not. This is how the world was created in 7 days. I mean, that's what it says in the Bible, right? Like, whether you like it or not, that's the way it is. You know, that's the energy of it. It's not that simple. Saturn has a system and a structure in place. Whether or not it's the truth, that doesn't really matter, whether or not it's just, there's a story, or it's a metaphor, or whatever, it's translated. It's that's the way it is. You know what I mean? And so there's that whole idea, this whole energy that's coming in this month. Like, this is just the way it is. And we got to go with it. We got to go with the flow. And Sag energy is really good at, they could be seen as really chaotic, because they are. But, like, it's only chaotic to us, not to them. They're really good at setting up plans and goals as well. Like Virgo energy, they're just a little more chaotic about how they go about it. They're more daring. It's like Aries with a plan. That's Sag to me. It's Aries with a plan. Because Aries doesn't always have a plan. Aries is known for starting a project and not finishing, and always trying this and that and going in this direction and that direction. That's Sag, but they have a plan. They have, it's the arrow. You got to aim the arrow and shoot it, and where it lands is where it lands. And so there's a sense of direction. It's just going to be a little chaotic, probably. Again, like, for some of you, I really don't think it's going to stress you out too much, but it is going to be a little chaotic this month in some way, shape, or form. Okay? And I'm going to end the reading here because I feel that's enough information. Yeah, we're just going to end it here. There's not much more to say or think about or feel about. We got somewhere to go. Okay? And before I completely end the reading, I'm going to give you a channeled song. And so I like to do channeled songs because, music is a frequency, it's a vibration, it connects us, it opens us. And, what you listen to has an effect on you for better or worse. And so the song I channeled for you before the reading, and I actually channeled the song for you the other day. We got Mac Kean, Aaliyah. And it is a beautiful song. I mean, he's got a fantastic voice. So check out that song. There might be a message for you in there, whether it's in the lyrics or within the instruments of the song, the frequency of the song. And then I'm going to display the oracle card you chose on the screen, along with the description of the booklet. So you can screenshot this if you would like, or just sit and read it real quick. It should give you further insight into the meaning of the Orca whale oracle card. And I wish you guys all the best. I mean, I feel you guys are going to, like, reach some kind of height, some kind of not like a status. Maybe you are reaching a higher status, but it's like you're going to a higher level here. Okay? Yeah, that's just all I'm gonna say. New heights. So good for you guys, and I'm happy to have you. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you guys next month for the September monthly tarot readings. All right. Blessings. If you picked card number 3, Owl, this is your reading for August 2023. We will begin the reading by taking a look at your current energies and see where you are at this moment. Then we'll take a look at what you can expect in the month ahead. So your oracle card that you chose, Owl, has the keyword magic. And on the card it says, choose to know the truth because you can. Open your inner vision. You can see through deception. Let the past go and make room for a better life. Rise up. Magic and wisdom are your birthright. So this is the leading energy of this reading. This is going to be the main themes and topics and situations that may occur for you this month. And so there's going to be a brand new beginning for you in some way. There's going to be a new door that you're going to step into. For some of you, you may even be jumping timelines. You may be making a big move, like you're moving to a new state, a new country, or you're changing careers completely. There's going to be a new change of direction either way on any level. It could be huge, like moving to another country, or it could be something small or more isolated. It could be small in the sense that like it's not a small event, but it could be something very subtle, but it's something that you're going to notice it either way. You're going to be very well aware of what this change is. I also feel that there's some kind of awakening occurring this month. You know, the owl is seen as a very wise animal, and as a totem, he brings about change. They bring about wisdom. There's an opportunity for you to see through the veil this month. You may just be more spiritually connected, and so it's allowing you to see what, you know, it's there. So it's like, I don't want to say what isn't there, but it's allowing you to see what you normally just can't see on your own unless you're paying attention. You have the right awareness, you're in the right mind state, and so you're really tapped into these frequencies. You're really tuned into higher frequencies. And for the elemental card, we have the equator. The keywords for this are to make equal. And so this is all about finding balance and creating balance as well. And so this is going to act as a guide for you. So as you step into a new beginning, I'm really getting the image of just opening a door and stepping through, and it's like a portal to like another time, another place. And so as you make this transition, it is very important that you keep balance in your life. And that's going to look different for everybody, and it depends on what the situation is and what this big change is. But it's really important that you keep a balance, you stay very level and not jump to either extremes. And I really feel like this is something you're going to have to really do on your own, and it's going to require your awareness. So you're going to have to really be self-aware and be very present in the moment. That's going to help you keep balance and to create balance. I'm really getting, creating balance. And so you may need to find new ways of creating balance for yourself. And I also feel that you're going to have to adapt to the situation. And so that's why you need to create new balance. You're in a new environment. And so you have to take what you already know and apply it in the way that it's going to work in this situation. There's also a lot of yin and yang energy on this card, night and day. I think that's their intention with this, the balance between polarities and any kind of polarity, divine feminine, divine masculine, night and day, hot and cold, that kind of thing, that kind of polarity, those kind of polarities, I should say. Okay, and so that, I feel like that's going to be a challenge for you, but it is also something, it's going to help you really grow in this situation. Okay, and so moving ahead, we're going to look at your current energies first, and then we'll jump into what you could expect. And so this is the tarot card portion of this reading. And for current energies, we got Justice in reverse, the Four of Wands, and Page of Wands. And when I was pulling the cards, I immediately felt like there was something that had recently occurred that maybe at the time seems pretty unfair. So there was some kind of situation that you were in where, if I'm going to relate it to like a court situation, it doesn't have to be, but let's say you went to court over something and you lost the case. Even though you had let's say it was fair in your eyes, and maybe in, to some degree there was some kind of justice on your part, but because of the way the system's set up, you didn't receive your justice, even though you were deserving of that justice. I feel like there's an aspect of, and I don't want to say like deserving, but like there, if it's the truth, it's the truth, right? But I feel like there's parts of this truth that you're overlooking, and that's why things may not seem fair, it may not seem right, and it may not, I'm getting like, it doesn't make sense. You're doing all the right things, you followed all the steps or something, but it didn't turn out exactly the way it was supposed to, whether or not it was an expectation or, it was, cause and reaction. Like, if I do this, I'm going to get this. But in this case, that didn't happen for some reason. I do feel like part of you knows this already, like, and maybe now you're realizing, you're coming to terms with it and accepting it, and seeing how whatever that situation was, it is a blessing in disguise. There was you were rejected. So for some of you, maybe you were rejected by somebody you really liked, or you were rejected a job position, or like you asked for a raise or a promotion and you didn't get it, and it seems like I deserve that raise or I deserve that promotion because, like, I've worked really hard for this. I've been doing all the right things. I've been following all the company rules and procedures and whatever, and I didn't get it. Like, that's unfair, right? So I kind of feel like that's the situation that happened for some of you too. Like, with a person, like, maybe you were just doing all the right things, making all the right moves. Maybe things were going really well. Maybe it seemed very reciprocal, like they were feeling you. And then when it was time to, like, go ask them out on a date or to be with you, they rejected you. And it doesn't make sense. So I feel like part of you is confused, but I feel like maybe your intuition or even like your gut, like, knows, like, no, actually, like, this is the right thing to do. Either we're wrong, or this is necessary. This rejection is necessary in some way. And so with that being said, I feel like since we have following justice in reverse, we have the Four of Wands. And, the Four of Wands is all about celebration. It's all about coming together. It's all about, I'm getting, like, being in your element. And so maybe some of you are Leos that are watching this, or you have Leo in your chart. And, so you're feeling the energy anyways. Like, you're in your element right now, but it may not seem like it for some of you. Either way, there's, like, some kind of relief here because of this justice in reverse, because of this rejection, this denial, this thing that happened that seems really unfair and really unjust. There's also going, at least right now with current energies, I feel like maybe, like, now, as of very recently, like today, yesterday, maybe last week, where you're starting to see a relief in it. You're starting to see why that rejection was so important. And I don't want to keep saying rejection. I'm not trying to, like, trigger anyone, but, that's just the best word I can use right now. I feel like you're coming to terms with it now. Okay, well, we have the Page of Wands here as well. And so the Page of Wands, it's really speaking into this Four of Wands for me. And so there is a new opportunity for you. So I feel maybe as of recently, or very, very soon, like this week, you're going to receive an unexpected opportunity. Usually my readings, when I get Page of Wands, it's always like some kind of unexpected opportunity. I don't know why. Maybe that's all across the board for the Page of Wands, but it's, like, always the case in my readings. That's always what I get for the most part. Like, it's always like there's this unexpected opportunity. It's usually unexpected in the sense it's like, it's not obviously it's not something you would expect, but it may come from unlikely places. It may come at a time when it seems not possible, you know, maybe the season isn't right or something. Like, this wouldn't be the season for this opportunity to show up, but here it is, you know, something along those lines, you know, however it may apply for you. It just, maybe you knew this opportunity's here and then you took a chance at it thinking you weren't going to get it or whatever it is, and turns out you get it anyways, right? Maybe you don't seem qualified enough for this. So either way, as far as current energies go, you know, there's a relief, there's a new opportunity. I also feel like you're having a change of heart. So for some of you, maybe since that denial that you recently had, it's actually helping you see what you really do want. Maybe you're starting to realize that whatever it was that you were going after that you didn't get, it turns out that's really not what you want. It might have been at the time like what you thought you wanted, but you're realizing now like you have clarity. And that's what the owl is really doing here as well. The owl is giving you an opportunity to gain more clarity, you know, see through the veil. You're starting to see something within yourself that was closed off to you before. And this rejection, this denial had to happen for you in order for you to see that. Like, you were never going to see that until it was taken from you, you know, the thing you wanted the most or the thing you were working hard for. So it is a blessing in disguise. And because of that, it's opening new doorways. It's opening you up to, let's say, more parts of your brain, your consciousness, your subconscious. It's inviting in new energy. So this is a great month to, I'm getting sage and to cleanse. But I'm thinking cleansing and like using fire. So saging, incense, candles, that sort of thing. You know, so this is a good time to do that if you want. I feel like because there's a new door opening, it's inviting new energy in. And so now's a good time to clear. And I feel like by clearing not just your space, like with saging, but clearing your spirit, your mind, your emotions, and like as well as your space. Maybe you do need to declutter. Maybe you do need to move, or you are going to move and you have to get rid of things. You know, so that could be another message. Maybe there's stuff you can get rid of, and maybe there's stuff you can donate or sell or, you know, give away. You know, it's a good time to clear up space. However you need to clear up space, now is a good time, because it's going to help relieve you of energy, you know, of blocks, as well as allow you to create new balance, which is another big thing for you this month. And, you know, we could see why now, why you need that balance, because there's a lot of new stuff changing. There's a lot of new insight coming in. You're going to receive a lot of downloads. You're going to really unlock hidden parts of you this month. You know, it's a big change. And so, yeah, you want to clear, you want to get grounded. You know, also just being really open to what is coming in. Because again, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be different. It's going to, you know, for some of you, it might be very radical. It might just be something like complete opposite of what you normally do, or how you normally feel, how you normally think. You know, maybe, I don't know, like there's so many things it could be. So I don't want to like go into that. Okay. And I just lost my train of thought. I wanted to say something, and now I lost it. So I'm going to take that as a sign to move ahead. Let's look at what you can expect to come this month. So for the current energies, we have Five of Wands, Knight of Cups, and the Star. Okay, immediately with the Five of Wands, it's pretty clear with the imagery on the card that there's going to be some conflict, but I also feel like there's just going to be a lot happening around you that can really easily distract you. It could be anything. It could just be like other people's drama. It could just be like little chaotic events that keep happening. Like maybe there's like a lot of things that keep happening that kind of make you have to like stop and like take care of it and then move forward. You know, just like, I don't know, like weird things. Like let's say you drop like a cup or something and now you gotta stop what you're doing and clean up the mess. And then like maybe later that day, like something else happens and it's like you got to stop what you do and you got to, you know, clean up the mess. And so it's like there's like this conflict energy, but I feel like the conflict is like within yourself. It could be outside, but I feel like the conflict is really like, I feel like it's the universe just making you like stop completely, do something else for a little bit and then resume. And I'm not really sure why, but I think it's preparing you for something. You're being prepared for, I don't know, like I just feel like it's necessary, and it's gonna seem really weird. So like maybe there's gonna be like a day or two where just like, or maybe even like a week-long period where just like little like strange scenarios like that happen. Maybe like maybe even things like around you like that happen. So it may not happen so much with you, but for some reason like you're a part of it, you're a witness to it. You know, okay, so like maybe like your friend breaks a cup or something, and then maybe you, I don't know, like you help out, or like you're just a witness to it or something like that, right? Either way, it's like I'm getting like stop and go energy. Now you could also be in competition. So if this is something like a job position or just something where other people are involved, so it's not so like highly personal, there's this competitiveness to get it done. There might be like this internal desire for you to I don't know how to say it, because I'm getting different things, you know, and so I'm trying to like summarize it in a way that works for everybody. You know, I don't know how many people are going to click on this video and pick this group, so like who knows, like, there could just be one person watching, or a couple people, and all your situations are going to be different but somewhat similar, because that's how these readings work. You know, it's like everyone who watches is going to have a different life and a different path, but the energy is very similar because we all go through similar things. You know, we're all connected, we're all influenced, or, you know, the astrology or whatever, right? Like we're all connected in a way. And so yeah, that's like really just what I'm getting, like the stop and go energy. There's like inner conflict. There's also like this competitiveness. It could be like maybe a mental thing. So like there's really no competition happening, but you're doing it anyways. Like you're being competitive. If it's not something that you're enjoying, then you should probably stop and pay attention and ask yourself, like, do I really need to be this competitive? Or, you know, am I stressing myself out, or am I having fun? You know what I mean? It's Leo energy. Leo likes to be on top. They like to have the attention. You know, they like to give attention as well. Like they just, you know, they have that kind of energy. But within them too, they got to have that balance of like, do I want to be seen right now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do I really need to be the best right now? You know, there are times when Leos do kind of like take a step back. I mean, we all do to some degree, right? But like, there's like an energy to Leo where they're more, you know, because it's the sister sign of Aquarius, where Aquarius is like this independent person within the crowd, you know, and they like to leave room for other people to be themselves. You know, they really, you know, they're not really judgmental. I mean, we all are in our own ways, but it's like a sign that like they're gonna judge you for who you are, but like they're also gonna give you grace. They're gonna give you room to be expressive. And so Leo has that tendency as well. You know, they like to allow other people to shine and to have their moment. You know, they're very good supporters. People who have Leo placements, they're really good at, or even like 11th 11th house placements, they're really good at supporting other people, or 5th house placements as well, because it's a sign of creativity and whatnot. And so going with that, the whole creativity thing, like, yeah, are you having fun with this? Is this fun, or is this draining? Is this unnecessary? And then again, that's where this balance is coming in. You need to find a balance between what's necessary and what isn't. When do you give your all to the world, and when do you give your attention to the world? Those will be the things that come up this month. They may even be lessons or just situations. So again, if you're present, if you're in the moment, if you're more self-aware, you're going to easily recognize it. In those moments, that's when you create the balance. When you recognize it, when you're like, oh, I see what's happening, I know what's going on here, that's when you create the balance. Okay, so moving on, we're gonna go to the Knight of Cups. Now we have the Page and we have the Knight, and I feel like the Page is going to upgrade into the Knight for you. So the Page was this new opportunity, this new insight, this new doorway opening, right? This new chance to begin something new, to start something new. Now I know Venus is in retrograde, and maybe Mercury's even in retrograde now, but so it's retrograde season, so you don't want to start anything brand new, in the sense that you never thought of this before. You want to start something new, and I had this idea a year ago, but it didn't have all the right tools or resources, or it just wasn't the right time. So Venus retrograde is perfect when it comes to creativity, relationships, comfort, even routine. I would say even advancement, positions at a company, things like that, everything related to Venus. So everything related to Taurus and Libra. And we have Justice, which is the card for Libra. And so what I'm trying to say is, it's a great time to start those projects that in those areas that you've always wanted to, and you couldn't, or maybe now it's the time to release something. But you want to be really careful about that. I'm not giving you advice. Don't just drop something. If you didn't have plans to release anything, don't do it because I said that. It's Venus retrograde. That's not what I mean. You're gonna know if it's the right time to begin something that you've already had thought of, or you've already are thinking about. And I kind of feel like maybe some of you already have, there might have been something that you thought of or began at the beginning of the year. And especially in Aquarius season, I would say towards the end of Aquarius season, just throughout Aquarius season in general. So the end of January and the beginning of February, there might have been something that you began, a project. Maybe you started, for example, you started a painting and you just did the outline, you did the drawing, but you didn't paint it. And here we are in August now, and now you have this sudden urge to paint that now. Now it's the time to do it. So that's what I mean. Now is the time to do something like that. So think about what happened during Aquarius season, and it should give you an idea of what's coming to fruition, which is really interesting too, because the 1st of July, we have the full moon in Aquarius. And so now the Aquarius new moon, whatever seed was planted during the Aquarius new moon, is now coming into fruition 6 months later in the sign of Aquarius, once again with the full moon. And so you're going to see results of whatever happened during that time. And with the Knight of Cups, this is something that you really want. Okay, whatever it was that the Justice in reverse had rejected you from, that you thought you wanted, and then you realize, actually, I'm glad I didn't get that, because I think I would have been more stuck and more lost. And now I feel free, right? You feel more alive. You feel more sure of yourself. This Knight of Cups is coming in, and this is what you were actually going for originally. And so there's a lot of creative energy around this. And this can be creative artistically. It could just be creative in the sense that you're birthing something brand new for yourself. You know, a birth is creation, it's creativity. So whatever relates to creation and creativity, growing a plant is creativity. You know what I mean? Like planting the seed and watering every day is a creative act. And so it could be anything, again, because you don't have to be artsy to be a creative person. We're human. Like, we're naturally creative creatures. It's just in our DNA. And so again, the Knight of Cups, this is what you really wanted. And I think that's beautiful because, you know, because we have the Five of Wands. And again, there's like all that like chaotic energy. I feel like once you settle that out, once you add balance to a very chaotic, sticky, anxious situation, feeling, thought, whatever it is, that makes room for this Knight of Cups to really step in. This Knight of Cups could even be a person. So if romance is really your thing, you know, or if like maybe you met somebody back in, you know, the beginning of the year, and for whatever reason it just didn't click or whatever, nothing happened, you know, this could be a sign that they're coming back. It is Venus retrograde. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up, but Venus retrograde can have either past lovers, like exes, or prospects, like potential prospects, people that you met, people maybe you did click and then, I don't know, something happened, you went your own ways, whatever, right? They can come back at this time. And so you want to evaluate the situation. If it's an ex, do you want to take them back, or are they just popping up because it's, you know, retrograde season and that's just what people do, or whatever the case. Either way, I feel like whatever does come back, you're going to have to analyze the situation, but I feel like whatever it is, I feel like this is what you actually wanted. This is what you actually want. But again, there might be like a couple people showing up. Like maybe you might have somebody show up in your stories and it's like, oh, like that's not what I want. I know I don't want that, you know. But just like, you're gonna know. You're just gonna know. All right. There's no, you know, there's no rocket science to it. Okay. So either way, it's coming in. I think that's wonderful. I think it's going to really ignite something in you, a new passion. Again, like this month is just so full of change, and there's like a lot of growth, and like it's so refreshing. I think it's wonderful because it's just so like, and that's what I'm getting. Like I'm getting this refreshing energy, and I feel like I've been talking like really fast in this reading, and so I apologize if I'm going too fast or I'm just like whatever, like, because that's just the energy that I'm getting. Like it's just so high vibe, and it's fun. You know, at first it was a little stressful or a little antsy, but like now that we're on the Knight of Cups, like I get this relief. That's the energy I'm feeling. There's just like, finally, you know. And again, that could be the unexpected opportunity because it was something that happened in the past. Let's just keep going with the whole something that happened in Aquarius season that you started, and it's coming back. Maybe it's unexpected in a sense that like, oh, I was never expecting that to ever come back. Like, or I completely forgot about that, you know, and here it is again. So yeah, that's the energy. I think it's exciting. I'm pretty excited for you guys because like, it just feels good, you know? Okay. And then we have the Star, and this is the card for Aquarius. And so I feel this Aquarius full moon can be a major pivotal point for you. And I'm actually recording your guys' reading first, group 3. I usually start with 1, 2, 3, but for some reason, spirit guides just told me do group 3, do it first. And I'm like, do I call it group 1? They're like, no, just record group 3 first. And so I don't know, maybe even if you're not first to this video, so like even if you find this video like halfway through the month and the full moon's over with, right? The full moon energy lasts for weeks, but I'm just saying like that event passed, right? It's still like there's like this first energy. You're going to be the first to something. And I feel like the Star card is further confirmation that something from the past is now uniting with you in the future. You know, technically the present moment, but the star card can also be about wishes as well as things just coming into alignment for you. Spiritual alignment. This is, it's mixing of the past and the future into the present moment. It's quite an interesting card. There's a lot of alchemy behind this card. And then there's more of that balance taking place in your life. The besides it just being balance, the polarity, like I've mentioned, of, just anything that's a polarity of each other. We live in a world of duality and polarity. You can't have good without evil, and evil can't exist without good. It's just the way things were created here. And so, with that, there's alchemy in that because you're taking two opposites and mixing them together. And, you're creating something for yourself here. A lot of that's happening is actually your own doing. It is the results of your actions. And, we're a species, probably the only species, well, not the only species, but we're like one of the, like, primates are, and then like certain corvids, like crows and ravens. We have this thing where, we understand delayed gratification. We understand by going to school for 12 years, prepares us for what's to come in the future. It's a delayed gratification. You don't get the result right away. And so a lot of this is all just based on stuff that you've worked on in the past, whether it's a recent past or maybe even your entire life. It's led you to this moment. It's the, I've also said it before, the cause and action, or the cause and reaction. There's no reaction without a cause. Like, things don't get pushed forward unless they're pushed forward. And so with that, there can be wish fulfillment if this is something you've manifested, in the sense that, it's something you've wanted, it's something you set forth into, you put it into motion, even if it was like a one-time thing, like just a one-time, again, going back to the painting reference, where the one-time thing was you spent, a little bit, like an hour or so, drawing what the painting's going to be, and then you put it away, and then you didn't do anything with it, right? Like, it could be as simple as that, where you took some kind of action, you did something, whether it was a conscious thing, like what the results of this would be, or it's something that just, like, it just happened, you just did it, and then here it is now. Now is the time to go and paint that painting, that drawing. And so a lot of this can be the result of karma as well. This is, a dharma fulfillment. I feel and when I say karma, not necessarily negative or good karma, just the whole, again, it's like the cause reaction. That's like the best way I could describe what I'm trying to say. I'm sure you get what I'm saying, but like, it's karma. That's what karma is. What goes around comes around. It's, it's a full circle here, basically. That's the best way I could put it. So, yeah, I think, honestly, I feel like I got the message out. We're just going to end all of it right here. But before we go, I have a channeled song for you, and it's quite interesting. So if you're into channeled songs and music, if you understand the connection of, like, how music has a very, very profound and important role in our life, then you can check out the song if you want. And then after that, I will display a photo of the oracle cards, or at least with the owl. I'm going to display the owl card and then what the booklet says about that card. So you can screenshot that and take that with you for the month. It should serve as a guide for you, to help inspire you and give you motivation. And so the song that I channeled is really interesting. And, my apologies if it's too promiscuous, but I got Sublime, Caress Me Down. I don't know why, but when I was channeling, I was like, okay, whatever first like song, like the title pops in my head, I'm going with it. And my mind kind of went down a list of artists and without songs. And then all of a sudden I heard Caress Me Down. So maybe there's a message in there, or, maybe just the music itself can ignite something in you. It can inspire you. And then I also thought just like the artist Sublime. So maybe you are a big Sublime fan or whatever. And so my other idea with that is to maybe do like a roulette. So like open up like Spotify or like Apple Music and then go to the artist and like hit shuffle, and like whatever first song pops up, maybe there's something in that song for you, or like, click on an album or something and do that, like shuffle the song. Either way, like do the roulette thing and like shuffle, like you don't know what you're gonna get. So you could do that too, or, stick with Caress Me Down, or, don't do that at all. That's totally cool. That's your reading. That's the message I have for you guys this month. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it resonated. Again, don't force it. If nothing sounds like you, maybe check out another card, or I don't know, maybe, I don't know, if it didn't sound like it was for you and you're still here, maybe that means something. So there you go. Maybe the song is what you need. I don't know. All right. So I'm going to close out here. And I hope you guys have a great month. I think you will. It looks pretty fun and exciting. So have fun with it. Go with it. Keep that balance. Keep that open mind. And I'll see you guys next month for September.